Um, I think I have a different perspective um, because I've worked on all sides of it, except corporate. I primarily worked as a federal contractor my entire career. And so let's begin the story. I love creating millionaires and building generational wealth. And through federal contracting, this is definitely a pathway, but it's a mystery for those outside of that DMV area. Um, I keep saying right now, based on what's going on in this current administration, things are shifting, and we have to begin to understand how to mobilize and fight. Because right now, to me, it's as much of a class issue than a race issue to a certain degree. And I'm just trying to get the same tax credits and benefits that the billionaires are getting. But no one understands that world or how to prepare for it. And for me, it's important that if you're going into business, you have to have something to motivate you. And what motivates me is my father. He was one of the first African American police officers in my hometown of North Carolina. He ended up retiring. After retiring, he ran for city council and found land by the projects and decided that those kids needed a park, and he was able to get it funded. And now we have a park in our name in my hometown of Asheville, North Carolina. So for me, he was all about community, and that's what drives me. So to start off, to give you a little background on who I am, as I stated earlier, I'm originally from Asheville, North Carolina. After college, I went to Washington, D.C., and my first job was with a federal contractor that was a part of the 8A program. Have any of you heard of the 8A program?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going into more depth about that. Um, it was an event planner job. And I was not only coordinating events for the government, I started sitting in on the events and started understanding how the government operates and how the money flows. So I ended up attaching myself to this one contract in that program, and every 3 years, I went to a new 8A company. After my fifth 8A company, I decided to take a leap of faith and start my first business. And that was in 1996. My first year in business, I received my first $1 million contract. Second year, I applied into the 8A program, received another $3 million contract, and quickly grew the business to close to $15 million in contracts with almost 40 employees. And I really didn't have a clue what I was doing. I had two business partners, one who felt like he could run all of his personal expenses through the business. I ended up having his credit card audited, and he in turn takes my assistant in the elevator and threatens her. I terminate him. He then conspires with two employees to sue me and the other partner for sexual harassment. After 2 years of attorney fees, 125,000 in attorney fees, 100,000 buy him out, I had no more operating cash. So I closed the business in 2005 and really um, began my new passion because I realized no one was training small businesses on how to manage a business. So I volunteered for 2 years as a SCORE counselor, which is a resource partner of SBA. I'm very strategic in the Washington, D.C. office. After 2 years there, ran out of money, applied for a position in the Philadelphia district office. I was hired in 2008, and my job was to service the businesses once they got into the program. But that office is also the office that processes all of the 8A applications for those entering into the program. So I was able to see and build relationships with those individuals to get an understanding what they were looking for or why they were declining applicants into the program. After 4 years in Philadelphia, I relocated here to Atlanta in 2012. While I was here, while I was at that district office, they required us to become certified as a contract specialist. And for me, that was full circle, meaning I'd run a business for 10 years. I'd worked at SBA for 7 years, but I wasn't quite sure what steps the agencies took to actually put that solicitation out for you to compete. So by becoming certified as a contract specialist, that was full circle for me. I've trained more than 10,000 businesses on marketing to the federal government and proudly can say I've assisted small businesses to win over 1.5 billion in contracts across various industries. I've self-published a book called That's Crazy, Recognize Crazy and Run. It sort of kind of documented the journey of that first business and understanding who you're hiring and how they can disrupt your company, and understanding the employees aren't necessarily your friends as we would like them to be, but they're not. So I created this program based on a lot of things. My background in working with businesses at SBA and understanding when they would come to SBA and learn about SBA's program, everybody's excited and we have great information, but no one was really clear on how do you truly connect the dots. And it's the same thing with the government agencies. No one understands SBA's rules and regulation, and they are a major factor in this game. So what are the challenges? Understanding the government language. When you're at federal events, they're using a lot of acronyms, and they're assuming that you understand their acronyms. Understanding their process. What I realized in working with SBA's resource partners is that everybody's information based, do this, do that, but no one was really teaching the process. And a lot of people that worked at SBA, actually, I was the only one that run a business that worked at SBA. And then there were resource partners or W-2. So they have a different mindset in instructing you on how to get into this game. Once you understand what certifications you qualified for, what documents is SBA looking for when you start applying to these programs, and understand everybody's siloed. SAM.gov is, which we'll discuss shortly, is managed by the General Services Administration, and SBA has their own database. Nobody talks to each other, and that's where the confusion becomes. Um, so based on all of that, this is why I created my federal training program. It's based on lessons learned and things that I saw on SBA and studying the businesses in my portfolio. I had 40 businesses a year that I was responsible for. So I was able to see the inside operations of everybody and what was working and what made them successful. So the first thing that I tell businesses is to not limit your business. Most small businesses start their business on their skill set. Managing a business has nothing to do with your skill set. And I realized that after I won that first $1 million contract, and my mentor pulled me aside because I was marketing myself as an event planning company. And he said, "Why are you pigeonholing yourself?" And when he said that, it made sense based on the companies that I'd gone through and looked at their business model. So I changed my business model to a management consulting firm, and I created divisions. I had an event planning division, I had an IT division, I had a communications division, I had a database division. And once I created those divisions, I started winning contracts. Because in this space, the government is not expecting you to have all these people waiting on contracts. As long as you're able to demonstrate you have a team of subject matter experts that are qualified to perform on those contracts, then that's what you're submitting. So on the first module, which is called Business Ready, is where we're helping you to create a business model that's not necessarily based on your skill set or your passion. Are y'all hearing me?
Yes,
Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
absolutely.
Because if
Oh, yes.
because if you're building a business on your skill set, you're never going to be able to grow your business. And I look at business like sports. My daddy wanted me I played all sports. And when you look at the NBA, and a lot of times we want kids to go and become LeBron or Stephon. And I'm saying to them, if LeBron or Stephon is making 200 million, how much is the owner making? Mm. And what is the owner's role? What's the owner's role, someone? What's their job every year? That's a question. Hmm?
To make money
And how is he doing it?
off the backs of the players, advertisements, TV contracts, different ways. But the game is the attraction.
Every year he's picking the best 5 players that I can have to get me to the goal. And that's what business is like. You're building a team that's not necessarily based on your skill set. I do not have to know anything about that contract to win. That is not my job as the CEO. Number 2, collaboration is key. In this space, all of SBA's programs and all of these contracts require that you team together. But I realize no one is teaching people how to collaborate. So in the second module, we put you into teams, and you at that stage of the government, and you have to learn the power of coming together, because it's too hard to do this by yourself. And helping you to understand how to leverage the Mentor Protege program. What we're doing is helping you dress up so that you can use someone else's resources through that Mentor Protege program to put your business on steroids. It works. Third, you must have the infrastructure. What do I mean by infrastructure, someone? Anybody? I just heard I got sued.
So maybe I can give an example. Let's say I have rental property and I own the homes, but I'm not a plumber, I'm not a GC, or I'm not an expert in the things that make up a home. So your infrastructure would be those vendors or those contractors.
Okay. accountant, and attorney.
Okay.
As soon as you hire a W-2 employee, you need to make sure you have employment, practice, liability insurance. Had I had that insurance, that would have covered my attorney's fees, the buyouts. That's an insurance policy that's outside of your general business insurance. So understanding the infrastructure you need to protect yourself as you begin to win and grow your business. So when you look at the government's fiscal year, when does the government's fiscal year begin and end, someone?
I believe it starts in September.
It ends in September. It starts October 1st and goes to September 30th. And so what happens between October and February, these agencies are operating on what they call a continuing resolution, meaning they're not fully funded. And they are operating on a limited budget. So from October to February or March is the best time to start building relationships and marketing to the agencies directly. By the time the agencies get their funding, that's generally February, March, April. It's Christmas time, as we would call it in DC, because they have a short window to get rid of a whole lot of money. And nobody's really trying to talk to you at that stage. You're trying to build the relationships during their downtime. Why federal contracts? Even though the landscape is changing, I look at federal contracts like certain industries. They're always going to be around. You're always going to need hospitals and doctors. You're always going to you're always going to need different you're always going to need a government contract. Hold on, let me. And why? Because every year the agencies have to set aside contracts for small businesses, and SBA tracks them. 23% for small businesses, 5% for women-owned, 5% for small disadvantaged, 5% for service disabled, 3% for HUBZone. So what that means for you, the more certifications you have, you're helping the agency achieve their goals. Right now, the 8A program is not necessarily a good thing just based on the landscape right now. And what I've learned over the years, the program is designed for you to be competitive, but we've been trained to go in with all these certifications. So I think the messaging definitely needs to change. You should always lead with, I'm a small business offering these services. And by the way, I have these certifications as contract vehicles. And then what you see over here is SBA keeps a scorecard on how they've met or achieved their goals. And you can see it's still a whole lot of money that's being out there. And what I will consistently say is there's not enough small businesses out there to fulfill the requirements. A lot of times they'll tell you to stay in your state and local areas. But to me, it's more politics and more competition. Whereas um, if I'm in Georgia, I can win a contract in Pennsylvania. I don't have to stay in that locality. And then what I realized when I left the DMV area, just by looking at SBA's programs and the numbers that are in their database, that people outside of DMV had no clue. Even when I was in Pennsylvania, when I look at the number of businesses in the 8A program, and I look at the number of businesses in Maryland and in Virginia, you can see these numbers. In Georgia, it's lower. In Pennsylvania, it's only 60, 60 to 70. That's been consistent since I left and started in 2008. So to me, what it means is there's no competition and no one's training them on how to get into these programs. And it's the same thing in New York. In the entire state of New York, there's only 82 businesses in that 8A program. Something is wrong. We're 80. And you see this? Are these numbers making sense to you guys? Yes?
Yes, yes.
That's crazy. So, as I say, SBA and their resource partners will tell you to start locally. And I disagree because the government sets aside contracts that are specifically for small businesses that are 250,000 and below. That's what I call the low-hanging fruit. I had a student that started class in March. I encouraged them to start competing once you register in this database. This is the database that you register to do business. Her background was IT. Her first contract she won July 21st. She submitted it June 16th, delivering rock salt on a military base. It was $126,000. She marked it up $50,000. So she got a 50% markup on that buy just working with the delivery truck delivering the rock salt. Not that many people competing on those types of contracts. So it's understanding how you structure your business. And as I say, it's not enough small business competing. Um, Hold on one second. So how do you get into the game? You self-certify in SAM.gov. That's the Systems for Awards Management. You can self-certify as a small business and as a small disadvantaged business. 4 programs require your formal certifications, meaning you're submitting an application to SBA and you're approved by SBA. One is the 8A, which is a business development program. The Hub Zone program is designed to build communities. Women owned is just what it is, and service disabled veteran owned is just what it is. This is where you go to apply. They've now merged this into one database, which I'm happy. Previously, you had to go to each separate databases to apply for each program. Now you're able to apply for one and upload the same materials for the other ones once, as opposed to having to do it individually. The 8A program is a program that's a program to my heart because this is a program that really is based on building those in underserved communities. To qualify in this program is based on primarily 2 things. You being socially and economically disadvantaged. By being in this program, and you're in it for 9 years, it allows you to go after non-competitive contracts up to $4.5 million which is called a sole source contract. I'm preaching this morning. Did the church hear that? Y'all hear that?
Yes. Oh my goodness.
Right.
That means that's how we grew so quickly. I went in, said, sold my services. They said, I like you. Here's a $4 million contract. That's how I got $15 million in contracts so quickly. Because these contracts will never be advertised, but nobody is teaching them where to find them and how to leverage it.
Wow.
The Hub Zone is based on communities. So as long as your business is located in a Hub Zone and 35% of your employees reside in a Hub Zone, it doesn't have to be the same location of the business. You can qualify into that program. So previously, before we were sued, SBA was sued, in order to qualify under the social component, as long as you were a member of any one of these ethnic groups, you automatically qualified. But based on the lawsuit, they are no longer using the ethnicity to qualify you. You now have to write and write 3 examples on how you've been discriminated against. And that's always been the case. I've had non-whites, non-blacks or non-whites or whites, males and females that were in the program because the program is based on discrimination. As long as they were able to demonstrate that they were discriminated against, that's what they are evaluating. So now everybody has to do the same thing. For this program, I have both of you all a couple online. To take advantage of all these programs, what I would recommend is you all separate on paper, and one has a company and the other one has the woman on. And then as long as this program is in existence, this will allow you to have 18 years in the program. So when one graduates, you already have somebody else following behind. And now you're able to take advantage of both the woman-owned and the 8A status. Did y'all catch that, Marissa and Jose?
Can you say that one more time, Paula? So I'm saying, yeah, just one more time. Sorry.
On paper, y'all need a divorce and have 2 separate entities. One would be a woman-owned, and the other one would be Jose, who potentially could qualify for the 8A program.
Yeah, he's Hispanic, so he's Puerto Rican. So okay.
And you let him go in first.
Okay.
He graduates and you go in behind him. You still can work together behind the scene. It's just not on paper.
Okay.
You hear me?
Got it. Okay.
Okay. The economic net worth. SBA is going to look at your tax returns and your net worth. It cannot exceed $850,000 minus any equity in your home and any equity in your business. So if you have rental property, that's held against you. So the program is based on, again, making you become economically viable. And it is a good program. Hub Zone program, there's no term limits on it. You recertify actually every 3 years. In this program, you get what they have, or what they call competitive sole source contracts in this program as well. But the difference between receiving a sole source contract in this program as opposed to the 8A, in order for them to do a direct award, is they have to have at least 2 companies that are qualified. That's called the rule of 2. That's for the Hub Zone program, the Veterans program, and the Women's program. In this program, you also get what they call a 10% price evaluation preference, meaning on any full and open contracts, the government's going to put 10% on someone else's cost if they're not part of the program. The key to this, your office must be in a hub zone and 35% of your employees must live in a hub zone. I was the hub zone liaison in Pennsylvania. And you can't lie to the government. You cannot qualify in this program. And I do a drive-by and it's a field address. You will go to jail. This is the map. If you put the address in, it's gonna let you know whether or not you're in a hub zone. So if I'm a home-based business and I'm the only employee of that home-based business, can I qualify into this program, someone?
No.
Why not?
It depends on where you live, right?
I said, I'm a home-based business. My address is in the hub zone. I'm the only employee of this home-based business. Can I qualify into the program?
Well, this is a bad guess. Yes.
Yes, I'm making up the 35%.
Okay. That's good to know.
Okay? And hub zone does not necessarily always have to be bad areas. And here in Georgia, at the SBA office, which is on Peach Street, is down near all the high-end hotels, but its address is in a hub zone because around the corner are the homeless shelter. So you usually may find hub zones around schools, universities. As long as you have you can qualify with a part-time student for 40 hours a month. That allows you to meet that 35% if your business is not in that hub zone. So again, you're trying to give the best vehicle for the agency to reach you. The women's program is broken into two components: economically disadvantaged and WOSB. The economically disadvantaged component is mirroring the 8A program. Once you apply into that program, you automatically a WOSB. So you don't have to apply into both. In order to qualify into this program, you have to be 51% owned and controlled, which was interesting. I was in Pennsylvania when they passed this law and this program, and I was getting all the calls from the husbands trying to see how they can position the wives into these positions. Must hold the highest office. Work full time. Now you can get around full time, and that's the same thing with the 8A. You have to be full time in that company in order to apply into the program. You can get around it based on the industry. If it's IT, how are you defining normal working hours? My hours could be off after 9 to 5. Janitorial. So again, the qualifications are just what it is. So I have anybody a veteran? We pull in the veterans because again, I like having veterans on my team because that adds credibility and they are excellent in what they do. So veterans program is all now under SBA. It used to be under VA. And again, it's just all paperwork. I'm gonna take you all after this slide into some websites. But there seems to be a lot of confusions around these certifications and who needs what. Because everybody is always telling everybody, get all these certifications. When you're looking at corporate certifications, that's the MBE, WBE, and VBE. That's where the supplier diversity chain comes from. Have you all heard of the supplier diversity programs?
I have not.
Okay, that's when the corporates are looking to fulfill subcontracting goals. Anybody that receives federal dollars have to have a subcontracting plan. So that's where these corporations come into play. We've just covered the federal. Then you can have state certifications for state contracts. They have DBEs, and generally that's managed by the Department of Transportation. Here in Georgia, it's MARTA. And in Pennsylvania, SEPTA does their DBEs. And then wherever county and city you have, they may have their own certifications. Do y'all have any questions before I go into the PowerPoint, the websites? Any questions?
No, no.
Y'all pretty quiet. Am I overwhelming y'all, or y'all just processing this?
A little of both for me.
Akita, I believe I'm pronouncing it right.
You're pronouncing it right. Yeah, I'm going through this information. It's just gathering some information. Yeah, it's good.
Okay,
Taking notes.
It's so, yeah, I'm doing the same thing, Mike. I know.
I'm recording
I'm
this,
all
so
over here. My notebook.
I'm recording it, so I'll send the recording afterwards.
Okay, thanks.
This database is your key. This is where all of our tax dollars are held. Anytime the government is spending money, this is where they post it so that you can see where your tax dollars are being spent. I use this database to create a marketing strategy. In here, I'll give you an example of what I was saying in no competition. Let me go up, hold on. I didn't want to do. Okay. Hold on. I'll put that in motion. All right. I want you to see. This young lady, she came in and this was one of her first contracts that she won. The government, these are the run and dones. That's what I call them. Getting your feet in and getting past performance. The government needed a 3-day meeting space. She found the meeting space. The hotel's cost was $48,000. She put her award amount in at $104,000. If you go down here, you look at the competition detail, what do you see? How many offers received?
Oh my goodness, just her.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
Hmm?
No competition at all.
Just
No
her.
competition. This one, what was this one? She did landscaping. Her background is not landscaping. This is a 5-year contract. a 6-year contract. What's this landscaping? And all she's doing is subcontracting it out. That's all it is.
So, so she wins the contract for landscaping, and then finds some local vendors to
Yep.
and get a price,
Yep.
and she just keeps the leftovers, basically.
Yes. Yes. It's just as simple as that.
Wow.
And she does she do it as a management company as well then?
She's project management. She's
Project
managing the project.
Wow.
Hmm.
Wow, that's awesome.
Doesn't now you're not competing, you're not necessarily having to do anything. It's the same process. And right here is the database that I help you all create a strategy. What's the first thing you see right here?
Sole source.
These contracts will not be advertised on sam.gov. They don't have to. They just roll over to the next 8A company. So I help you align yourself with who's graduating from the program, because I know they can't keep it, to partner with them. Mhm. Simple as that. I don't like sam.gov. I use this database when I'm looking at opportunities because it's a little more user friendly, and sam.gov has a lot of bugs in it. So you all are in Pennsylvania. So this is a third party. So if I'm looking for contracts in Pennsylvania, it's going to show me all the types of contracts in Pennsylvania. And it makes sense. Up there, you have a lot of construction because Pennsylvania is old. So you can see opportunities that are here. I'm just, you do leadership. I heard you said you all did leadership
Yes.
and development,
Yes.
and so they're just looking for space. But let me just walk you.
Quick question. So these contracts are 8A contracts?
No,
Not
these are
passive?
just small business set aside. So
Right.
I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna show you how to use this website. Every day, this is my therapy. I like this because I can go on here every day and see what opportunities are being posted for that day. It's broken down how the government does its acquisition. The first stage is what they call a sources sought, their market research to determine if there are any small businesses out there. Um, if there's small businesses, then we go to the next phase of the solicitation. We're going to set it aside as a small business. And what I like about this is broken down by alphabet by industry. So I can go on here every day and look to see what the government is buying. I always go into R because that's a catch-all. The government puts a lot of stuff in here because, again, I'm looking at who do I know and who can I partner with if I don't have the skill sets, right? I look at things that would be, again, training and technical assistance. It's still the process. When you're looking at this, here's a cosmetology program. Do I need to know anything about cosmetology? Although it is in the prison system in Fort Worth, but I'm sure there's some cosmetology institutes in their area that I can subcontract here. Here they just need webinar support services. This is the low-hanging fruit that I'm talking about. That makes sense? Y'all have any questions on these databases?
Paula, do you have to register for this database or can you can just search?
It's free.
Okay.
It's free. As I said, the government, so that's why I say there's no need to pigeonhole yourself because they buy everything. And it's still the same process of me finding people to do the work. It's just, I'm making it easier than make it sound simple than it really is to me. And then I wanted to show you all this because everybody wants to know, well, how do I get paid? So what I did for my first business, I went in and created templates so that you don't have to reinvent the wheel. This was a contract I came in third on for an event planning contract. It was a 5-year contract. And what you see here, all of these are, as the government would define them, as contingency hires. Contingent upon award of these contracts, these individuals will be hired at this rate for this amount of time. And you can see they're getting raises each year. So again, you're doing 5-year contracts with steady income. The government understands that it costs me to hire employees, so they're going to reimburse me for all the health insurance, my health insurance, benefits, whatever benefits I'm offering my employees. Also, they're going to reimburse me part of my overhead. That's where my salary came out, the partner salary came out. Rent came out of that. So they're reimbursing me. Right here is all what I call pass through. Money I had to put out. I had a subcontractor. So all their costs came in on other direct costs. And then here is what they call is your general administrative expense. Meaning I had to hire a full-time bookkeeper to travel all those people. So their salary came out of that. Part of my salary came out of that. So I'm not losing anything. After all my expenses are paid, this would have been my profit per year on that contract. So had I won that contract, my profit that I'm taking home was $1.9 million. Is the church hearing me? Y'all quiet?
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
My feelings was hurt. So I've suffered. Every time I have to pull it up, I'm having flashback.
So
Yeah.
I hate to be simple about this, and maybe I missed something. But so this is monies you win the contract, right? If you would have won the contract, they give you the money up front. And then,
They're billing it per month, per year.
okay, yeah, I did miss a lot then.
Hmm?
And I'm just talking to myself. I do that, but I did miss a good bit, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, this would have been my first year's cost.
Okay.
This is second year.
I guess startup money, even your first month or to get into it, you're spending your own money to get started, and then you get paid back. Is that how it works?
Yes, that first 2 months.
Okay. All right.
But I have factoring companies. We cover all of that in the classroom, how you finance these contracts.
That's my biggest question. Okay.
Yeah, I don't worry about the finances. Somebody give you some money. It may be expensive, but somebody give you some money, and sometimes that's what you have to do to get you over the hump.
Right, but once you get started and start to get reimbursed, it's all down here from there.
Yes.
Okay. All right. All right.
Or again, the young lady that won that contract this summer. Her credit wasn't all that good. I tied her into a factoring companies. Y'all know what factoring companies are?
No, ma'am.
No.
I call them check cashing stores for the businesses. Y'all heard of check cashing stores, right?
Yes.
It's the same concept. They finance that invoice, but it's expensive, most of them. But I was able to connect her with a factoring company that was 2% of it. So you're just building that into your price point. They just giving you the money up front, and so when you get paid, they get their money off of it, and you get your money.
Okay, that's been one of my biggest hurdles is startup. Okay.
Mm-mm.
I have a question, Paula, about is that I mean, and I don't want to get into the weeds with that either, but is it like typical to each year you just build it in if it gets renewed that it's like a little bit more? I mean, that makes sense, but is that what you do?
I do. I just factored it into it.
Okay, I like that. All right.
And right now with AI, how many of y'all using AI? Are you using AI as part of your business?
Not nearly as much as I should, even at work.
It's a game changer. It's a absolutely game changer. I don't have to answer. I don't have to think about anything. I can take that scope of work, put it in AI, provide me an executive summary based on this scope of work. Tell me what should my profit margin be on it. It tells you everything. So my program is starting. Actually, I'm pushing it to October 1st. We're going to start. I was going to start at September for next week, but I got behind. So I'm going to start at October the 1st. It's broken down into 3 modules. Each of them are 6 weeks each. Business ready, government ready, and contract ready. That business ready, even though you may be in business already, or if not, everyone starts at the same place because you need to make sure you have all the required documentations when you start applying into SBA's programs. You all don't know what they're looking for. The second module, I like to say I'm dressing you up in the business ready. Second module is strategy, identifying teaming partners. How do we collaborate? How do we identify potential mentors? And that's what the third module is. Because to me, that mentor protege program is an excellent program because that program allows you to have a large business mentor you, and you get to use their resources to put your business on steroids. SBA watches it and monitors it, so you're always protected. So it's getting in this and having a strategy. Right now, I have a early bird. It's $22.97. But if you're bringing in, so I had an update. If you're bringing in a second person, it'll be $34.97. That next class actually is going to start Wednesday from October 1st from 8 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Every week it's recorded. Even if you miss a week, you can go back and list, but you have homework assignments. The homework assignments is key to this process because you're building your own business. By the time you're through, that business will be registered in SAM. You have all the marketing materials and you have all my templates. Again, I have a single rate, it's $22.97 right now. That's what's on the website. If you bring in a second person, it's $34.97. So you're still saving money at $17.50. I have office hours on Tuesdays. We're doing this every Tuesdays. we're alternating office hours and lab sessions from 6 to 7 p.m. to provide you with additional support. And that's just bringing all the classes together. And I may go into a little bit more depth of some of the things that you're learning in class. These are the deliverables that you will be completing. And this is the deliverable as the team. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. Any questions?
Yes. So this is, you said 18 weeks?
Yes.
18 weeks, mostly in the evening. I think I could do it even working with UPS. Now, yeah. Okay. I have some thinking to do really quick because I'm very interested, but we do have something called peak season where it runs us crazy, but I think I could do them both.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions? What was your takeaways? Can I get some takeaways?
Paula, it was very interesting and very informative, and really liked the information that you gave us, me, and I will contact you about this program because I'm really interested and how you decoded it, like really, uh, like very in very simple. So thanks a lot. I will contact you about this. Thanks a lot.
Okay. I've been doing this 10 years. So the methodology definitely has been proven over and over. I don't guarantee it because you have to do the work. But
Understand.
I'm eliminating all the learning curves because you're building it from a business that was successful, and you don't have to reinvent the wheel. That's what you'll keep hearing me saying. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Just dress up and look like everyone, talk like everyone, then you're in. And up in Pennsylvania, y'all have no competition.
Yeah, it's the direction that I need as a, struggling, starting business with limited time. So I greatly appreciate it. You are in the Atlanta area?
I am.
Okay, okay. And if we wanted to contact you, how do we do it? Just through the website?
I'm going to put my email information on there.
Okay.
Marissa and Jose, what's your takeaway? Thank you, Mike.
I
No problem.
wasn't sure I wasn't sure if he was going to answer. He had to go to another meeting, so we're separate now. But oh my goodness, I just feel like it's so confusing because we've played with Sam and tried to figure out which certs, and I feel like it was you're just pulling it all together, like you said, and just making it clear so we're not going down these rabbit trails and then wasting 3 hours going, oh, we're not able to do that cert or whatever. So I feel like it's just going to be much more clear. He and I have to talk about it just to kind of confirm. We're definitely interested. And one of my big takeaways was just like putting it under the heading of a management consulting business, because that is kind of mind blowing. Because even just playing around with Sam, the little that we've been doing, we were only looking for like the ones in what we thought was our NAICS code, so we're like, okay, there's like 3, but this is like very like just a change in how we could structure everything. And so yeah, really interesting. Thank you for answering all our questions along the way. But yeah, he and I will talk about it. But we're definitely interested. Paula, thank you for your time.
Yes, I'm passionate. I'm about changing small businesses.
Hi, Paula.
Yes.
Hi, I'm sorry. I just stepped in. I just stepped in real quick, but I have to hang up soon. I just wanted to ask, and we're definitely going to do it. But I wanted to ask. So, will you be like once we go through the training and things like that? Will you be walking us through like let's say we apply? Like, would you be able to assist us with that? Like,
I have templates, but after the training, I do have one-on-one coaching.
Oh, okay, you do. Okay, great. All right, thank you.
Okay. All right, y'all. Y'all have a great Saturday. I'll make sure you get the recording. And hopefully you're joining the community. Hi, Shannon. Shannon, you ready to jump in yet? I guess she's on mute. But anyway, I put my number in there. Please feel free to call me. And hopefully you'll all become part of the community. All right. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye, thanks.